Hi, everyone. Oh my God. Thank you for coming. I'm Cassie. I am the director. There's a line in the show that says something about being a believer in the art of the possible, and that is what this show is about, because Eli believed that a bunch of friends who like to stay up late and get drunk and watch Columbo could put on an entire production with no professional theater experience. And so here we are. It has been so fun to prepare this. We hope you have as much fun watching it as we did. Again, we are not professionals, except the band, who are professionals. And I can tell you, the music alone will be worth your $10 to get in. The actors tonight are doing their own stunts, which means they're drinking booze when they drink booze on the set. There's going to be one act, then a very short 5-minute intermission. Please don't get out of your seats. Then act 2, then there'll be a 15-minute intermission before act 3. Thanks for coming. Enjoy the show.
Hello, Dr. Flemming's office. Oh, hello, Mrs. Logan. No, unfortunately, the doctor won't be available tomorrow. He'll be out of town. Let me see. Our next free hour is next Friday, 4 to 5. All right, bye-bye. Hello, Dr. Flemming's office. Hello, Mr. Sussman. No, the doctor's out to lunch. He should be back soon. I don't know which restaurant. There are about 6 in the neighborhood. If you just call back in a few. All right. All right. As soon as he gets in, I promise. I promise. Doctor, it's Mr. Sussman.
Oh, God.
Shall I tell him you're busy?
No, I'll take it. Hello, Harry. This is Dr. Flemming. Well, look, if you want to go to the track, just go to the track. If you don't want to go to the track, then don't go. It's as simple as that. All right, no problem, Harry. Wonder if he'll send me a card on Father's Day.
Called this morning. He said it was feeling hostile. I didn't know what to say to the man.
Next time, prescribe him acetate of salicylic acid.
What?
Aspirin.
Oh, seems like Mr. Sussman is in his positive transference phase.
With bells on.
Hello, Miss Petrie.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Flemming.
Is he in?
I'll buzz him.
Yes?
Your wife is here, doctor.
Oh, send her in.
You know the way.
Hello, darling. I've been on a shopping safari all day. Just thought I would peek in. Are you busy?
I will be. I have a patient coming in.
Well, I suppose that I could have called, but that wouldn't have been spontaneous. Okay, I was having lunch with Sybil.
How's she?
Same as ever. She and Dave are going house hunting this weekend. I think it's ridiculous. Honestly, the idea of them rattling around some reconverted farmhouse, it's just out of character. Well, this place looks nice. When was the last time I was here?
A month ago?
That recently? Must have forgotten. Oh. My life in art. Stanislavski. Fascinating. What are you, treating actors now?
A few.
They have such prolific love lives and so very public. You'll have to, tell me about it sometime.
Is there something I can do for you, Claire?
Do? For me? No! Nothing. I told you. I just dropped by. Besides, you don't mind, do you? Only a couple of minutes out of your 50-minute hour. And I won't be here by the time your next patient comes. Wouldn't want to disturb him. Or her.
All right, Claire, what is it?
Yes, I will have a drink. Thank you. Honestly, Roy, what is what? You act. You act as if I have some motive for coming over here, but I told you. I just dropped by. Oh, yeah. We ran into a friend of Sybil's at lunch. She was a silly woman. Rather inquisitive. Once she found out what you did for a living, she had a lot of questions. It appears she's thinking of undergoing some sort of analysis. She wanted to know what it was like to be married to a psychiatrist. Don't you want to know what I told her? Okay. I told her it was like living light years away from the top of Mount Polomar. Because you know that you're being watched, but you just can't see the telescopes. Oh, that's just one of my usual phrases that I always say, one of my stock answers. Actually, I usually say it's like living in a glass house. Living alone in a glass house.
All right, Claire. We both know you have something to say. What are you going to say?
Indulge me, darling. Listening to people is your profession. Besides, you should have time to listen to your wife. Or would that be nepotism?
I imagine you'll get to the point eventually.
Yes. This place is built for getting to the point. Right. It's always felt more to me like a confessional. All the secrets that you must hear. I waited up for you last night.
Did you?
You didn't get in till 3. Where were you?
Where I said I would be. Dr. Cobb's house.
Bill Cobb? Bill Cobb is 70 years old. His wife tells me that he's in bed by 10.
Well, he wasn't last night. We were talking about one of his cases at the clinic and lost track of time.
I don't believe you.
Why should you? I'm lying. I was in bed with my mistress.
Roy!
Or if that doesn't suit you, let's see. Went to dinner and then to the theater with a high-priced call girl.
Oh!
You just what, Claire? You said you waited up last night. Why didn't we have this discussion then? Or perhaps this morning at the breakfast table. Wouldn't that have been more appropriate?
I wanted to think.
That's the problem with you, Claire. You think too much. Listen, these things have a way of magnifying themselves. You're upset right now. Why don't we talk about this later after you've had a chance to calm down?
Oh, damn it, Roy. I will not have you treating me like one of your patients.
You're acting like one, aren't you?
Who are you calling?
Bill Cobb. I want you to ask him what time I left this house last night.
What good will that do? He's a friend of yours.
All right. We'll call his wife. She's a friend of yours.
I'm sorry.
Let's just forget about it. Next time something bothers you, you'll tell me, won't you? People have enough to worry about without creating problems. You feel better?
I'm sorry. I know that I can get a bit bitchy, but that's just because I'm jealous. And we're gonna have such a nice time this weekend.
Of course we will. Of course.
There's gonna be no phone calls, no interruptions.
Not even the Sunday Times.
Oh, I'm getting kind of excited.
Good. Well, let's say you get home and get packed then.
Will you be home early?
I'll try it. Good night.
Hello, Miss Hudson.
Hello.
Miss Hudson, please, come in. No
Oh,
calls.
see.
No calls, Miss Petrie.
Oh, darling, I missed you.
And I've missed you.
I almost called yesterday. Rehearsal got out early and I went for a walk in the park. It was so lovely. You know that carousel by the bridge? I almost wanted to go for a spin. Isn't that foolish?
Oh, not at all.
I knew you'd be busy, but I just couldn't help about thinking of us spinning around like idiots.
We'll do it sometime. I'll wear my Homburg and we'll pose for vodka ads. How's your play?
Everyone's fighting. I think we'll switch directors midstream.
What about your rehearsal schedule?
Well, I have to go back for a few hours tonight, but I'm free for the weekend.
Good.
That woman that was just in here, that was Claire, wasn't it?
ESP. Extrasensory perception. You know, there's a theory it only exists between women. You're tense.
A little.
Did you sleep last night?
No, well, maybe an hour or two.
Take this prescription. You can get it filled at the drugstore downstairs.
What is it?
Sleeping pills.
Roy, can't we wait a little bit?
No.
Just a little while to think it over.
How long? A week? A month? Or, I don't know, maybe we should just put it off indefinitely.
I didn't say that,
It's just that you're nervous. Darling, face facts, you're going to be nervous no matter when we do this.
just keep wishing there was some other way.
There isn't.
But if you talk to her, if I talk to her,
Susan, you're wonderful, really, but maybe a bit naive. I mean, what do you think Claire would do if you went to her? She'd probably invite you in, listen politely, even offer you a cup of coffee, all very modern and civilized. Then she'd go talk to her friends, reread Norman Vincent Peale for inspiration. Then she'd do the exact opposite of what I want. She would forgive me.
are you sure?
Darling, she's a professional martyr. A long time ago, I realized that my wife and I weren't compatible. Not politically, not intellectually, not even sexually. So I went to Claire and I asked her for a divorce. She refused. A year later, I went to her again. She refused again. Claire told me quite clearly that she was going to be with me for the rest of her life. You know, the Claires of the world, they don't get divorced. Their daughters do. Frequently. Not the Claires.
How can you be so positive?
Because I've been studying them for years, here and at home. They're an amazing sisterhood. Every day's the same. They roll out of bed and into Bonwitz. They have lunch in the city with their friends. They have a martini, just one, before dinner. But the amazing thing is that they are tenacious as hell. Divorce is a dirty word. So even though they don't sleep with their husbands or even speak to them, they'll never let them go.
When you talk like that, I begin to wonder if you'll ever tire of me.
Tire of you? Darling, you need to understand something. When a man my age falls in love, he commits himself. He doesn't have time for adolescent fixations.
Well, sure, I'm younger than Claire and far prettier, but are we really so different? I'm sure she's maybe more intelligent than I am.
A destructive intelligence, believe me. Claire's bitter to the point of being an emotional invalid. Besides, what makes you think intellect is something I need in a woman?
Need? You've never used that word before.
An oversight, easily corrected. Come here. I need you.
Oh, Roy, I love you so much. If I didn't, I don't know how I would go through with this.
But you will.
Yes.
Now, here's the dress. I brought it so we could check the size.
It's a little big.
Enough to be noticeable?
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure? Do you want to try it on?
No, it'll be fine. Should I take it home with me?
No, I don't want you wearing it till it's absolutely necessary. This is a photograph I found. It's the best one I could get. All the rest of them, she's either got sunglasses on or she's standing at a distance. Notice the makeup.
She uses a heavy eyebrow pencil.
And a lot of lipstick. Take that with you for reference, but make sure to bring it back tonight. You're clear on the timing?
I'll be at your apartment at 10 o'clock.
But no sooner. How are you going to get there? You going to take a cab?
You're testing me.
Do you mind?
No, I suppose we should both be sure of things. No, I won't take a cab. I'll take a bus. I'll get off a few blocks away and walk.
Good girl. And the apartment number?
6K. Ring the bell twice.
Anything else? Susan?
The sunglasses.
Yes. And a large purse for the dress. Are you sure that you understand the details? Do you want to go over it again?
No, I don't want to think about it anymore.
Darling, it'll be fine. We thought about this for months. We walked around the edges, we backed away, but after 10 o'clock tonight, there's no way we can go back and change this. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Good. Then why don't you get back to your rehearsal? After we're done, go home and get some rest. I'll see you tonight. Oh, Susan. You better take this.
To Roy, with all my love, Susan.
See you tonight.
Goodbye, Miss Hudson.
Bye.
Yes, doctor?
Miss Petrie, my wife and I are going to be going out of town for the weekend.
Will you be leaving an address?
No. We'll be going upstate, and we don't want to be disturbed. If there are any emergencies, refer them to Dr. Cobb.
I hope you two have a lovely time.
We will.
Oh, doctor,
Yes?
Mrs. Flemming was looking very lovely today.
Thanks.
Syracuse Airlines? Yes, I'd like some information. Is Flight 12A leaving on schedule? 11 o'clock. Thank you. Darling!
Yes?
I called the airline. Flight is leaving on time.
Okay. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just looking for the tickets.
They're not in there. They're in my jacket pocket. Shouldn't you be getting dressed?
Don't rush me, darling. You know I hate the feeling of having to rush. Besides, planes never leave on schedule. Do you remember when we were stuck in California for that analytics seminar? We were in the terminal for 3 hours. It was 3 hours, wasn't it, Roy?
Just about.
I'll never forget the look on your face. You were about to charter a Greyhound bus. Oh, honey, for being such a brilliant man, you're not very mechanical, are you?
That's what wives are for.
That and everything else. Have you finished packing yet?
Just a few odds and ends. What about you?
Oh, I fought that battle this afternoon. Dave Gordon called.
Oh, anything important?
Just wishing us a pleasant trip. He and Sybil are thinking of going away next month.
Nice of him to call. He's busy these days.
Yeah, Sybil did say that he's prosecuting 2 new cases. Serves him right for having political ambitions. Wait, do you think Dave's gonna be the governor?
It's possible.
Sybil? Sybil in the governor's mansion. Well, I suppose it's better than a reconverted farmhouse. Do you remember when Dave was in law school?
Vaguely.
He was working at this place in the village during the day and then taking classes at night, and I wonder where he found the time to study.
He borrowed it from me, darling. I had plenty to spare.
Why didn't you ever burn any midnight oil?
I didn't have to. My wife had a rich father.
And you married me for my money. Come on.
Not yours, darling. Your father's.
Really shouldn't joke about things like that, Roy.
I know, but I'm afraid I'll never be governor.
Well, you don't have to be. Because I love you and you love me. Don't you, Roy?
Very much.
Don't you ever wonder what life would be like if we had had children?
I don't know, they'd probably be taking care of us by now.
No, I'm serious. Don't you ever sit and think what it would be like if we'd had a family?
Hardly ever.
Well, I do. Too much, I suppose. I know that I didn't want any in the beginning, and then it was your practice, and it was never the right time, and I didn't want to ruin my figure. Though I suppose that that's already happened. Hasn't it, Roy?
Not at all.
Yes. Yes, it has, but that's very nice, darling. Very flattering.
Claire, is the cleaning lady coming tomorrow?
As far as I know,
Well, why don't you give her a call? You know, sometimes she forgets.
I don't think that she will.
Just give her a call.
Oh, have you seen my gray wool dress?
What?
My wool dress. It's gray. I can't find it. I thought it was in the closet and I wanted to bring it.
I don't know, maybe you sent it to the cleaner.
No. Oh, that. Charlotte? Hello, this is Mrs. Flemming. Just want to make sure you're going to be here tomorrow. 10 o'clock. And you have your key. Okay. Thank you. Oh, yeah, she'll be here at 10.
Great.
She's a very, very dependable girl, Roy. We are lucky to have her. You know, some of the servants these days are just unbelievable. Drink, darling.
What? No, just set it over there, will you?
It's such a beautiful night.
I hadn't noticed.
It's perfect flying weather. I can almost see for miles. You know, I've never really been afraid of going up in a plane before, but I suppose I wonder why that is, because you're all sealed up in this ball of metal, so if things were to go sideways, I mean, what are really your chances? But it's not that different than being in a car the way some people drive. You know what I'm thinking?
What?
When we get back from vacation, I'm gonna redecorate. Yeah, I'm gonna put some warmer colors in here. It's so cold, because it's if nobody lives here. And then we could start entertaining people again for a change. Wouldn't you like that?
Yeah, what if you like?
Well, you would like it too. And we're gonna have such a nice time this weekend. Have you told anyone where we're going?
Miss Petrie knows we're going upstate, but I didn't tell her about the lodge.
You really love that place. Have you ever taken anyone else there besides me? I mean, before we were married, of course.
Well, dozens of women, but as long as they didn't mind digging for worms.
Worms? Well, I'm not very outdoorsy, honey, but we're gonna have such a nice time. I'll hang my nightgown in the bathroom, and we'll have a weekend of sin.
Yeah, well, you better go close that window and get dressed. It's about time to go.
Okay. Just a couple more hours. It'll be like a second honeymoon. Even better than the first. Roy! What?
Hello? Oh, hello, Dave. Yeah, Claire said you called. No, leaving tonight, that's right. Back on Monday. Claire? She's getting dressed. Look, Dave, I gotta go. Yeah. All right, you give my love, give our love to Sybil. All right. Susan, did anyone see you come up? There's a drink over there in the bar. Take it.
No, I'll be okay. I don't need it.
Just take it. All right, and where are these?
No, please. I don't need a drink. I'll be fine.
Well, be careful not to touch anything. Did you bring the photograph? Here's the dress. Put it on.
What are you doing with all of her jewelry?
There's a lake about 3 miles from the lodge. Tomorrow morning, this will be at the bottom of it with everything else.
Okay, are we ready?
Not quite. You still have to call the cleaners.
Won't they be closed this time of night?
No, they're open until 12.
Can't you do it?
Susan, if you can't make a simple phone call. Here's the number.
Hello, Madison Cleaners. Yes, this is Mrs. Flemming. Apartment 6K, 2372nd. Yes, I have a bundle of laundry and some things to pick up.
Be outside the door.
He'll be outside the door. Yes, for first thing in the morning. Apartment 6K. Yeah, thank you.
That was fine. We're almost ready. Did you bring the sunglasses?
I know I brought them.
Where are they? Alright. Put these on as well.
Why?
She always wore them with that dress. When you get back from the airport, put the dress and the gloves with this bundle of laundry outside the door.
Why don't I just come in and put them away?
No, it's too dangerous. I don't want you inside the apartment. Plus, I'd rather have the dress clean so there's no trace of you wearing it. Now, this is very important. From here on out, you are Claire Flemming. We're going to go to the airport, take a cab, and we're going to get on the plane. Keep your talking to a minimum in the cab.
I'm still worried about the airport. What if we see someone who knows your wife?
We won't.
How can you be sure? I don't even look like her.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Look, don't worry about it, okay? People see what they want to see. It's the principle of association. Now, you're dressed like Claire, you're traveling with me. That means you're my wife.
Okay, let's just get on the plane as soon as possible.
Right. We're going to get on the plane and go straight to our seats. Then, this is the important part. We have to start an argument.
That's going to be difficult.
You're an actress, darling. Improvise. You don't like my friends. You're sorry you agreed to come along in the first place. Just make sure it's convincing. All right? We need the other passengers to hear us. At some point during the argument, I want you to get up and say something like, "Well, if that's how you feel, I'm not coming." Storm off. I'll try to stop you, but insist. Go straight to the stewardess. Tell her you want to get off the plane. Susan, it's very important that you get off that plane before they bring the loading ramp away. You understand?
Yes.
All right. I'll stay on the plane. Try to strike up a conversation with the stewardess. Tell her about how misunderstood I am. What are you gonna do?
I'll go to the bathroom in the terminal. I'll change into my own clothes. Take a cab back here. I'll put the dress and the gloves beside the door. And I'll take a cab back to my apartment.
And then get some rest, all right? Don't read the papers tomorrow. They're only going to upset you.
When am I going to see you again?
Not for a while, at least a week. And don't try to contact me either, all right? I'll call you probably on Monday.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Then let's get started. Mrs. Flemming.
Mrs. Flemming.
That's your name, darling. For the rest of our lives.
Dr. Flemming?
Who are you?
Lieutenant Columbo, Doctor. Police.
I don't understand. What's going on here? Where's my wife?
I think maybe you better sit down. I have some bad news for you.
Something's happened to Claire?
You sure you don't want to sit down?
No, I just want to know what's going on. Was there some kind of accident?
Not exactly.
Where is she?
She's in the hospital. Somebody broke in here Friday night and tried to kill her.
God. Tried? To kill her?
Yeah, that's right, Doctor. She's still alive.
What's her condition?
It's not very good. She's been in a coma for the past 2 weeks.
Has she been able to say anything?
Nope.
I'd wait for a while if I were you. They're not letting anybody into a room. Not even the police.
I can't just stand around here and do nothing.
You know, there's not much else you can do. They said they'd give me a ring here if he shows any interest.
What is their exact condition?
Listen, this is gonna be
Just tell me the truth.
It's not very good. We're really just hoping she comes out of it long enough to talk to us.
Just saw her on Friday night. She was fine. How did it happen?
Well, we figured the guy who broke in here was a thief.
A thief? And he attacked Claire?
Yeah, it looks that way, Doc.
This is incredible. Why wasn't I notified?
Well, nobody knew where you were. I mean, we tried to reach you. Your secretary said you were upstate, but you didn't leave an address.
We wanted to be alone.
Yeah, you know, it was on the radio up there. We alerted the authorities. You know, I could come by later if you want.
No, you're here now. You might as well just tell me what happened.
Well-
How'd this thief get in?
Climbed up on the terrace, we smashed the glass on that French door right over there. Used something heavy. We think a flashlight. Anyways, your wife must have heard him taking some stuff. The bed was rumpled, so she was probably asleep. She came in here and he strangled her. Now, most guys, they get in a spot like this, they run. So this thief must have been pretty cold-blooded. I mean, let's say your wife catches him taking some stuff. So he tries to kill her. Then he finishes robbing her. Now that is not usual. The guy thinks he's committed a murder. He gets on his horse.
Has she been conscious at all?
Afraid not. She hasn't been able to say anything. Your housekeeper came in on Saturday morning. She saw the body. She contacted the police. When they got here, they thought she was dead. The medical examiner was almost ready to sign the death certificate.
Was there a pulse?
Yeah, but it took them 5 minutes to find it. They rushed her to the hospital, and she's been there ever since. She's in some kind of state where her brain can't get any oxygen. They call it and something.
Knox.
Yeah, that's right.
So there must have been brain damage. It means she won't live.
They're doing everything they can.
Hello? This is Dr. Flemming. No, Miss Williams. I can't possibly see you today. Come in on Friday at 2 o'clock. They expect me to be on call at all hours.
Yeah, it's the same with me, Doc.
I think I will have that drink. Something for you?
Thanks, but not while I'm on duty. Anyway, we think that the thief got your wife's jewelry, maybe some other things. We did a pretty thorough search over the weekend, but if you could put together a list of what was stolen, that would be good.
Of course.
Yeah, we can run down the pawn shops and the fences. You know, something might turn up. Just a few questions for my report, Doctor. Now, you said that you were out of town for the past 2 days. I'm sorry, do you have a pencil? My wife gives me a pencil every morning, and I just can't seem to hang on to it. See? Oh. Thank you. Now, you were upstate for the past 2 days, but no one knew where you were.
I was at a hunting lodge. It's about 30 miles outside Syracuse. It's called the Twin Lakes Lodge. It's very quiet, relaxing. They don't even have a telephone.
Uh-huh.
I suppose this means you know what happened on the plane.
Yes, yeah. We spoke with the airline people. Now, they told us that you and your wife checked in. Boy, that really proves. But then we spoke with the stewardess and she explained things.
Yeah. It was my fault. We got into an argument, something ridiculous. I never thought Claire would actually leave.
You couldn't have known, Doctor.
Just if I'd been able to convince her to stay, could have gone away together. None of this would have happened.
You know, she probably came right back to bed. I mean, the time of the attack would have to have been close to midnight. And we know she was at the airport at 11.
Lieutenant, if I can be of any assistance.
Well, just a few formalities. Like I said, there's really not much we can do to get back. Before I forget, I hope you don't mind, but I borrowed a photograph here.
Photograph?
Yeah, a picture of you and your wife. I found it in the bedroom.
I don't understand.
Well, I had to have something to show the stewardess for identification. Yeah, you know, she's still upstate. They don't fly back right away. We had to contact her by phone and set the photo up by wire phone.
And?
She identified your wife. Wasn't a very clear picture, but she recognized her.
Roy, I was hoping you'd be back by now. You alright?
I guess, Dave. I mean, considering the circumstances.
I don't know what to say. It's a terrible, terrible thing. Sybil just had lunch with Claire on Friday.
I know.
As soon as I got word, I went straight to the hospital. They wouldn't let anyone see her. Boy, something puzzles me about Friday night. When I called, the two of you were getting ready to leave. What happened?
We got into an argument on the plane. Claire decided she wasn't going to go. Never should have let her leave.
Don't blame yourself. You couldn't have known. There's no sense to it. You live a safe, average life, and some common thief decides you've got something to eat. Tries to take it. Somebody always gets it.
Oh, Lieutenant Columbo.
Dave Gordon, District Attorney's Office.
Yes, sir, I know.
Appreciate it if you do everything you can for Dr. Flemming here. He's a good friend.
We'll do.
Roy, we'll find the man responsible for this. You have my word. As soon as Claire is better, we'll get a full description. Listen, Sybil wants you to stay with us for a few days.
Let me think about it, Dave.
I understand. Suppose you'll be leaving for the hospital now?
No. We're waiting for a phone call.
Take some. Lie down. I feel much better.
Well,
We'll tell you as soon as anything happens.
I guess the lieutenant doesn't have any other questions for me.
Oh, no. They'll wait till later.
All right.
Any progress so far?
Well, nothing yet, but it's still kind of early in this recording. We have a few feelers.
Like what?
Well, we alerted our usual tipsters. Now, that takes a while. They like to wait until they have something. Then we have routine questioning, parolees, then with similar MOs, all the routine things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know, sooner or later something usually breaks.
Let's make that sooner, Lieutenant.
Do my best.
I'm sure you will. Trouble is, we can apprehend and punish. We've got no power of prevention. Sometimes I get sick of the whole book of statutes. By the way, I have to tell you, this could be a nice feather in your cap. It's getting quite a play in the papers. Wrap it up and everybody looks good.
Yes, sir.
Wish they'd call. When was the last time you talked to the hospital? Lieutenant?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gordon. I was just thinking of something else.
What's that?
Well, Dr. Flemming didn't call to his wife when he came.
I don't recall it.
Well, I was in the bedroom checking some things, and I heard him open the door, but he didn't call out for his wife. You know, it's funny how people are different. I mean, me, if I come home from a long trip, first thing I say is, honey, you here?
What's your point?
Point? Oh, I don't think I was making a point.
It sounded as if you were, in a rather foolish way. Who's heard the man admit he had an argument with his wife? Probably still had a chip on his shoulders.
I was only just...
Lieutenant, I told you. Dr. Flemming is a friend of mine. A very close friend. I I hope he won't be annoyed by tactless remarks, especially at a time like this.
Sorry, Mr. Gordon, I guess I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Hello? No, he's indisposed. Leave me a message. Claire passed away a few minutes ago. She was conscious at the end. If it's any consolation, the last thing she called out was your name.
Well, as you know, my schedule has had a few disruptions, so I won't be able to read my paper on conversion hysteria until early next month. If you need a fill-in, Doctors Hess and Franklin are very well experienced in the field. Best regards, etc., etc. We'll finish the rest of the correspondence tomorrow, Miss Beecher. That'll do for today.
I can stay late if you'd like.
That is very kind of you, but it won't be necessary.
Dr. Flemming's office. Oh, hello, Mr. Sussman. Just a minute. I'll see. Doctor, it's Mr. Sussman. I'd like to speak to you.
Tell him I just left the profession.
Mr. Sussman, he just left. Just for the afternoon. He just went out. Would I lie to you? No one's trying to avoid you. Your wife did what? To your what? I don't think the doctor can help you with that. You better go to a hospital. All right. I'll tell the doctor as soon as he comes in. And if your wife calls, you haven't heard from me. All right. Bye-bye. Well, I guess I'll get these typed up. Can I help you?
Yeah, is the doctor in this?
Do you have an appointment?
Well, no, but it's police business. Just tell him Lieutenant Columbo is here.
Yes?
Doctor, a police officer is here to see you. Lieutenant Columbo?
Columbo. Oh, send him in.
Oh, I didn't.
Lieutenant, I was hoping to hear from you. Any news?
Oh, not much. We're sort of waiting around until our friend tries to get rid of the jewel.
Well, I imagine he will hold on to it for a while.
Yeah, you're probably right. Boy, I've never been in a psychiatrist's office before. Keep looking for the couch.
You've seen too many movies, Lieutenant.
Put me in a horizontal position, I'd fall asleep. Still, this is a nice place. I mean, it's relaxing. Yeah, I got a sister. She has this living room. Modern, You sit down, and you're afraid to open your mouth. She's got this big, kidney-shaped coffee. It sets me just to look at it. Now her husband, he doesn't say much. I figured the coffee table got to him a couple years ago.
Something I can do for you, Lieutenant?
Not nothing important. I just came by to return your pen. I forgot to give it to you at the inquest.
Thanks.
That's the trouble with me always forgetting things. You know what? I read a big article about it in the Reader's Digest. You might know it. It's by another psychiatrist. He had this theory about people with lousy memories. You know anything about that?
It's probably the Freudian idea that there are no accidents. You forgot something, it's because you meant to.
Hope that's not true. I left my wife in a bowling alley last week. I was halfway home before I realized she was still in the ladies' room.
Anything else I can do for you, Lieutenant?
Oh, well. I mean, nothing super important, but there's just a few little details that have been bothering.
Like what?
Well, it's about your luggage.
My luggage?
Yeah. You know, look at it all in fluid. No?
You were asking about my luggage?
Yeah! You took 2 suitcases upstate, didn't you?
Right, we packed more than we needed.
Yeah. And, I went up over to the airline, routine checking, and they said that your luggage was 13 pounds over here. Now, it's a silly little point, Doctor, but I'm wondering, what happened to those other 9 pounds?
I don't know. Is it important?
Well, in a way.
Well, how? I don't understand what this has to do with my wife's death.
Oh, you understand, Doctor, it's just a little detail. It's part of my job. Gotta get all the loose ends tucked in.
Well, it seems like you've gone through a great deal of trouble. I mean, the airport's quite a ways out there.
Oh, 45 minutes. And besides, I was working on another case. You gotta kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That is a hell of a place, that airport. They really fixed it up. You're not gonna believe this, but I got lost just walking around.
About those 9 pounds, Lieutenant, I think I took some medical catalogs and small trade journals up there with me. I never have time to read them while I'm in the office.
Catching up on your reading.
Yeah, you can put it that way.
And you didn't take any of them back with you?
Well, no reason to. They're all advertising stuff mostly.
And you figure they weighed as much as 9 pounds?
They must. I mean, what else would explain the difference in weights?
Yeah, I guess that settles that. Hey, thank you, Doctor. I'm sorry to have bothered.
No bother at all.
Just one more thing. Do you remember what your wife was wearing last Friday night?
I don't know. Claire has so many dresses. Is it important?
Well, in a way it is.
Maybe a gray wool dress?
Yeah, that's what the stewardess said. She's back in town, by the way, and I spoke to her. She said that your wife was wearing a gray wool dress and white gloves.
Sounds right.
It's funny though. I mean, your wife comes home from the airport, gets undressed, puts on her negligee. What does she do with the dress and gloves? I mean, we did a thorough search of that apartment. We found a blue wool dress, brown wool dress, no gray. And we found a lot of gloves. Leather ones, long type that ladies like to wear to dances. No lace gloves.
I don't know. Perhaps they were stolen.
Maybe. Did you put them on your list of stolen items?
Honestly, Lieutenant, you can't expect me to have noticed they were missing.
Still, it is kind of puzzling. I mean, what would a thief want with a dress and a pair of gloves? I mean, the dress maybe I can understand. The gloves, I mean, what are they worth? I don't know, maybe he wanted to give them to his girl or something.
Who knows? People don't always do the rational thing.
They sure don't. You learn a lot about that in my line. Yours too, I guess.
Hello, Miss Petrie.
Hello, Miss Hudson. I'll ring the doctor.
Yes?
Doctor, Miss Hudson is here.
Well, tell her I'll be out in just a moment. You'll have to excuse me, Lieutenant. I've got a patient.
2 o'clock. That'd be Miss Williams, right?
Quite the memory you have.
Comes and goes.
Well, look. Sorry I couldn't be more help with the dress and the gloves. Maybe you missed them in your search.
You know, you're probably right. Say, how about I come by, take another look for the dress and clothes? What time are you gonna be home?
I don't know, about 5 o'clock.
Suppose I come by 5:30.
If you really think it's necessary.
Oh, you understand, Doctor? Just another loose end.
You can go in now, Miss Hudson.
Excuse me, miss. What was your name again?
Susan Hudson. Why?
Oh, no reason. Thank you so much.
Roy, who's that man out there?
Just a policeman. Lieutenant Columbo.
He wanted to know my name.
Did you tell him?
What else could I do? Roy, what's wrong? Do you think he suspects something?
He was at my apartment on Monday when you called. I told you not to get in touch with me.
I had to. I mean, when I heard that Claire was still alive, I had to warn you.
Well, he thought the mix-up in names. Look, it's fine. For all he knows, Miss Petrie jumbled up my appointments. You did as I asked, right? Put the dress and the gloves out with the laundry?
Gloves?
Yes, Susan. The dress and the gloves?
Well,
What is it?
well, so I changed in the airport, just like we talked about, and I took a cab back to your apartment, and I put the dress in the laundry bag outside.
Go on.
Well, I forgot all about those stupid gloves until you just said something.
How many times should we go over it?
I'm sorry, but what difference does it make? Is it that important?
Important? Where are the gloves now?
They're at home in my bag. I haven't used it since that night. Roy, what's wrong? I'm terribly sorry if I messed things up.
Let me think. Good on the dress, that's at the cleaners, and a pair of gloves. A pair of gloves is small, it can be easily overlooked. Here's what we're gonna do. Columbo's coming over to my apartment again this afternoon. I want you to go home, get the gloves, take a cab back to my place. I'll meet you there in about 30 minutes.
Well, there's an incinerator in my building. Why don't I just throw them down there?
No, I want him to find them.
What?
He's not gonna be satisfied until he ties up all his goddamn loose ends.
But Roy,
Susan, just do as I say. Hurry.
Finished already?
Oh, Madison Cleaners, this is Dr. Flemming. Yes. Thanks very much, I appreciate it. Right, listen, I have some laundry there. No, as far as we're aware, she wasn't in any pain. Look, I got some laundry. I left it there for you. If it's ready, I need you to bring it by my apartment this afternoon. Can you bring them? You set them on the table there. I'll hide them in a drawer in your bureau. Columbo's gonna find them this time. You want a drink?
please. Oh, Roy, I'm so sorry. Are you angry with me?
Not that much.
I knew I would have to do something foolish. I went over and over and over it in my head, but damn gloves!
We've covered ourselves.
I missed you so much this week. I didn't think I was gonna get through these last few days without you, but be all right, won't we?
Of course we will.
What about that man, that Columbo?
You're never gonna have to worry about seeing him again.
But why was he bothering me?
Because in some dim way he's suspicious of me.
Suspicious?
Look, I told you, don't worry, alright? In a policeman's world, you're always a suspect. It's like a new person who comes in for psychoanalysis. If they're early, they're anxious. If they're on time, they're compulsive. If they're late, they're resisting. You just can't win.
I thought you said we covered ourselves.
We did. That's the problem, you know. Claire's death was almost too perfect. That's what irritates Columbo. It's like a speck in his eye. He'd even find errors and flaws in the Old Testament.
You don't seem very upset about it.
Why should I be? I've got answers for him no matter what he asks. He's gonna keep going down one dead end after another, and eventually he'll get tired of hounding me and move on to someone else.
I wish I could be so sure. I spent these last few days going over what we've done and trying to find some sort of excuse, but haven't been very successful.
I didn't want to have to kill Claire, but there was no other choice. She dug in her nails and she was never going to let go. You know, that kind of woman can't withdraw gracefully. Look, it was a terrible thing. I'm sorry to have had to put you through it, but I needed your help.
I know, but does that justify?
Susan, we're in love. That's the only justification we need.
Roy, I just want to be with you.
Dr. Flemming.
What the hell are you doing here?
Well, I thought I would kind of save you some trouble. Look for the gloves myself. You know, there's no sense inconveniencing you any more than I have to. The superintendent gave me the keys.
Don't you people usually require a search warrant?
Oh, well, I didn't think it would be necessary, Doctor. I mean, you gave me your permission, didn't you? Hey, how come you're back here now?
Because it bothered me too. I figured I'd save us both some time. There are the gloves, Lieutenant. I found them in one of the drawers of her bureau.
How do you like that? You know, we covered every inch of that bureau. We just missed these. You didn't happen to find your wife's dress, did you?
Nope. I turned the place upside down. It's not in the apartment.
Wonder what she did with it.
I have no idea.
Well, why don't we both go take another look?
Lieutenant, I told you, I searched all the closets.
Oh yeah, but there's a laundry hamper in the bedroom.
Look, it's not here.
Hey, no harm in taking another
But I just
look.
told you. Lieutenant, you mind getting that? I don't want to speak with anyone.
Yes?
That's the cleaners.
How much do I owe you?
$2.60.
Keep the change. Oh, Miss Petrie. Forgot to tell you, Miss Hudson is coming in tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
I'll put it in the book.
Thank you. Good night.
Evening, Doctor.
What are you doing here?
Well, I dropped by to tell you some news about the case. I thought you might be interested.
And what's that?
I'm not working on it anymore. They decided to put me on something else.
Oh,
Yeah, happened all of a sudden, too. Call came in from upstairs, and they told me that they wanted to put me on some other case. Real strange. And then they said I was to turn my files over to Lieutenant Green. Now, he's a nice fella, but he's a little young. Not that much experience in this kind of thing. You know, it's funny. Here I thought I was doing a good job.
well, that's unfortunate, Lieutenant, but, they probably know what they're doing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a dinner engagement.
At the Gordons?
What makes you say that?
Oh, well, Mr. Gordon's a friend of yours, isn't he? I mean, when I was at your apartment last week, he invited you over. Don't you remember?
It isn't with Mr. Gordon.
Lady friend, maybe.
I don't think that's any of your business.
You know, you're probably right. Doctor, I was wondering, do you think that you could take me on as a patient?
What?
Yeah, there must be something wrong with me. I seem to bother people. I make them nervous. Can you tell me what's wrong?
You can't be serious.
Oh, no, I am. My wife tells me all the time I gotta have it looked into. So I tell her I know a psychiatrist. So I figured you'd come in here once a week and we could get it ironed out. Here's what I think my trouble is. I'm too suspicious. I don't trust people. That's my trouble. For instance, I get taken off a case. Right away I think somebody must have put pressure on. Isn't that stupid? And then I think, now I gotta find out why somebody put pressure on. I don't know, what do you think, Doctor?
I think you should get out of here.
Beg pardon?
Columbo, you're a public servant. You say you've been taken off the case, fine. But if you bother me again, I'm gonna have to call your superior.
Boy, you're making a lot of phone calls today, Doctor.
You are magnificent. You really are.
Oh, come on, Doc. Why do you say that?
You are the most persistent bastard that I have ever met. But you're likable. The astonishing thing is that you're likable.
Why do you say that?
Anyone ever tell you you're droll?
Me?
You are. Droll as hell.
Come on, Doc.
Oh, you're a sly elf, Columbo. You should be sitting underneath your own private toadstool. You were taken off this case, and then you have the flaming audacity to come in here and bother me again. I respect that. It's irritating, but I respect it. You want a drink?
Yeah. Hey, that's pretty nifty. I mean, you could take a snort between patients.
I haven't given you a Rorschach, but I have a hunch you're a bourbon man. What should we drink to?
How about you and me?
Fine.
Hey, Doc, you ever read any murder mysteries?
No?
Now me, I love them. Can't get enough of them. You know, they're very relaxing, but they're not very realistic. I mean, the trouble is, the guy who did it, they catch him every time. Now, we both know it doesn't always work that way.
You never stop, do you?
Stop what?
The insinuations, the change of pace. You're a bag of tricks, Columbo. Right down to that prop cigar you use.
Well,
You know, I'm going to tell you something about yourself. You say you need a psychiatrist. Maybe you do, and well, maybe you don't, but you are the perfect example of compensation.
of what, Doc?
Compensation, adaptability. You're an intelligent man, Columbo, but you hide it. You play the clown. Why? Well, you know you won't be able to get by on looks or polish. So you turn a defect into a virtue. You trip people up, take them by surprise. Like coming here tonight.
You really got me pegged, Doc. I gotta watch myself around you. You're pretty good at figuring people out.
Now you're trying flattery.
Oh, no, I mean it. I mean, you got a gift, Doctor. I mean, I know it's your job and you've studied it for years, but it's still kind of amazing. I mean, a person sits down in this chair for a couple hours and boom, you know all about it.
Well, not exactly. Psychiatry's not a parlor trick.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that, Doctor. I have a lot of respect for psychiatrists. Actually, I was thinking, well, no, I guess it wouldn't be possible.
What?
Well, you know, it's easy enough to figure out a patient. Or some guy like me who's always hanging around. But what about someone who you've never met before? A stranger. Could you tell what makes him tick?
You have anyone in particular in mind?
Oh, nobody special. Just a type.
Like a murderer, perhaps?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I think we're on the same wavelength.
Well, I guess we are. What about this hypothetical murderer?
Well, we're not talking about your average hothead. You know, the type of hooligan who would hit someone on the noggin with a bottle. No. We're talking about someone methodical. They plan it out step by step. They sort of make up a blueprint and follow it. What's that? Who's he like?
Now, I should charge you for this, but, well, since it's hypothetical, we'll call it a free consultation. So, talking about a man who commits a crime. Not your garden variety barroom brawl, but an elaborate intellectual project. What do we know about this man? Well, say he's working from a blueprint, so we know he's not impulsive. He plans, calculates, minimizes risk. Say that shows the discipline of a damn fine brain. Probably well educated too.
Say, maybe a professional man.
Well, perhaps. But at any rate, an orderly man. An eye for detail. And courage.
Courage.
Certainly. You can't go through something like this, whatever it may be, without a strong nervous system.
Still, something puzzles me, Doctor. This man we're talking about, this murderer, he's taken a human life. I mean, wouldn't you say he's insane?
Why? Because he's committed an immoral act? Morals are conditioned, Lieutenant. They're relative these days like everything else. Now, this murderer, he could be as sane as you. Or me. At any rate, he's a believer in the art of the possible. You know, you give him a limited range of options, and murder's one of them, and he may even find murder repugnant, but if it's his only solution, he uses it. Now, that's say that's pragmatism, not insanity.
Tell me, Doc, how do you catch a guy like that?
Well, you don't.
Yeah, you're probably right. He sounds just too clever for us. You know, let's face it, cops. Well, we're not the brightest guys in the world. But we do have one thing going for us. We're professionals. No, this murderer that we're talking about, he's an amateur. And however smart he may be, he has just one chance to learn. Now, with us, I hate to say it, but it's a business. I mean, we do this 100 times a year. Now, you gotta admit, Doc, it's a lot of practice.
Well, in your case, it hasn't helped, has it? All that practice. You come to the wrong conclusion.
What do you mean?
I didn't kill my wife.
I never said that you did.
No? No, implied's more than word. But, Columbo, if I did kill Claire, I said if, you know, you'd have one hell of a time proving it. So, why don't we part as friends? You can move on to your next case, and I could forget this ever happened. Really, there's no reason for us to have to see each other again. If you excuse me, gotta get to that dinner engagement.
Maybe, I should come down with you?
No. You stay. Have another drink. Search the office. And if the cleaning lady comes, just show her your badge. Lieutenant, if you want to smoke, open a window.
Fred? Hey, Lieutenant Columbo. Listen, I'm gonna need a pickup. Yeah, on the Flemming case. Claire Hudson. Susan Hudson. Now, no, I don't have her address, but it's in my files. They should be on my desk. Fred, send the car over immediately. Take her to my office tonight, and don't let her make any phone calls.
Hello? I don't want this switchboard. I want an outside line. Well, you keep cutting in every time I dial. Just put me through to an outside line, will you? Official permission. Make a phone call. Oh, for God's sakes, no, I don't want the desk sergeant.
Miss Hudson?
Who are you?
Lieutenant Columbo. We met the other day. Remember?
Are you the man responsible for bringing me down here?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I've never heard of such a thing. You know, I've been waiting here for over 30 minutes. I can't even make a freaking phone call. The operator keeps getting on the line.
Yeah, you know, they kind of clamp down on calls after 6 o'clock. Some type of economy drive. I am sorry to keep you waiting. I was out getting coffee.
Would you mind explaining to me why I'm down here?
Sure. We just want to ask you some routine questions. Thought you could help us with the case we've been working on.
What case is that? Lieutenant?
The, Flemming case.
You mean Dr. Flemming, my psychiatrist?
Uh-huh.
Is he in some sort of trouble?
What?
I said, is he in some sort of trouble?
Well, in a way. Sit down, Miss Hudson. It, won't bother you if I smoke, will it?
No.
Now, some women, they can't stand the smell of a cigar. Now, my wife, for instance, she prefers a pipe. But I could never get around to it. I mean, it's just too much stuff to carry around. How long have you known Dr. Flemming?
You mean, how long has he been treating me?
Same thing, isn't it?
Been seeing him for about a year.
About a year. And when was the last time you saw him?
Last week, when I met you.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Lieutenant, would you...
Say, you're an actress, aren't you?
How did you know?
Oh, it's just a guess. Are you working here in town?
I'm rehearsing in a new play.
Oh, really? I'll have to see it. What type of part do you have? Is it a young girl? Is it an older woman?
What does this have to do with Dr. Flemming?
Oh, beg pardon?
Lieutenant, you're not being very clear. First, you bring me all the way down here to ask me about a man I hardly know. You tell me he's in some sort of trouble. Now, before we go on, suppose you tell me what kind of trouble.
Well, and I know this may come as a shock to you, but we think he killed his wife. What's wrong, Miss Hudson? You look surprised.
Of course I am. I don't believe it.
Huh. Yeah, I suppose that would be kind of hard. Wonder who left these here. Are they yours?
No.
Hell of a thing to find on your desk. Maybe one of the sergeants left them. Sorry, what's wrong, Miss Hudson? You look a little nervous. Haven't you seen a pair of sunglasses before? Maybe you should try them on.
Why should I?
Well, no reason. But then there's no reason that you shouldn't, is there?
I think I'd better go.
Sit down, Miss Hudson.
If you insist on questioning me, I want to call my lawyer.
Sit down.
You can't stop me from calling my lawyer, and you've no right to order me around. You're not even on this case anymore.
Now, how did you know that?
Dr. Flemming told me.
No, you said that you haven't seen him since last week.
Well, he called me.
Oh, is the doctor in the habit of calling you?
Won't answer any more of your questions.
Well, let me clear one thing up for you. I am on the case. Now, someone's pulling a few strings, all right, but my superior, he doesn't like that. So he says to me, Columbo, you must be pressing a sore spot. You keep at it. He's a very intelligent man, my superior.
I want to call my lawyer.
Now that doesn't figure. Dr. Flemming kills his wife, and you want to call your lawyer. Could you explain that to me, Miss Hudson?
I want to call my lawyer. Woo!
All right, go ahead. If he wants to know the charge, it's accessory to murder. Go ahead and make your call, Miss Hudson. And then we'll go take a drive.
A drive?
Well, to go see the stewardess. Now, I don't have the gray wool dress, and I don't have the gloves, and you won't put on these sunglasses. But I think she might still recognize you.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're trying to confuse me. I have nothing to do with this.
With what?
With this thing with Roy.
Roy?
Dr. Flemming!
No, you just called him Roy.
What difference does it make? He's my doctor. I knew
Your
his name.
lover?
Damn you, my doctor.
Oh, and you never met his wife.
No, I've never met his wife.
Maybe you'd like to see some pictures of her. They're in that drawer. I had them taken at the morgue.
No.
Yeah, suppose not. After all, you saw the real thing. That must have been quite a shock.
Leave me alone. I didn't do anything.
Oh, and what about these? What about the sunglasses? What about those lakes upstate? What about that argument on the plane?
I won't listen to this.
No. You were there when he strangled her, weren't you?
No.
Oh, you came later.
No, I was never there at all.
Oh, I think you were. I think you changed that dress when she was laying there, and then you went to the airport with him and had that phony argument on the plane. Didn't you? Plan it with him. Help him carry it out. He couldn't have done it without you. Without you, that woman would be alive instead of lying in the morgue.
Stop it!
We can have a stenographer come in. You can make a statement.
No. Damn you. No right. I had nothing to do with this. You understand? Nothing. If you want to take me to the stewardess, then take me. If you want to arrest me, go ahead. You can't prove anything. Now, I want to go home. Tell your men to take me home.
Hey, Fred. Columbo. Now send a car around for Miss Hudson. You can go. Miss Hudson, I hope you know this is only the beginning. I mean, in a way, I feel sorry for you. Because from now on, I'm going to do everything I can to break you down. Dr. Flemming made one mistake. It's you. You're the weak link. Now, tonight, you surprised me. You were strong. But there's always tomorrow. And the day after that. And the day after that. And sooner or later, you're going to come in here and talk to me. Until you do, you're going to be followed. You're going to be questioned. You're going to be hounded. Now, you can't call Dr. Flemming because I have his phone tap. And you can't see him because I'll know about it. So, you're all alone. And I'm going to get to him through you. That's a promise.
Hello?
Roy, thank heavens! I've been trying to call you for hours!
Oh, you sound upset again. What is it now?
Columbo took me down to the station today.
Columbo?
He tried to break me down.
Well, did you say anything?
No, of course not, but he knows. He knows everything, even that alibi on the plane.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know anything. He's just guessing. Guesses are no proof. Besides, he's not even on this case anymore. Why should he be questioning you?
Oh, yes he is. He's right in the middle of it. His two men parked outside my apartment right now.
Well, suppose we better talk. Come in tomorrow morning. We'll get this figured out.
Roy, can't you come over tonight?
With his men watching your apartment, use your head, Susan.
But you're my doctor. There's nothing wrong with the doctor seeing a patient.
Look, he obviously expects us to get together tonight, right? Let's not be predictable.
Well, what are we gonna do then?
We're just gonna wait it out. Look, all he's got left is you. As long as you don't panic, we're home free.
Roy, I need to see you.
You will. Tomorrow at your appointment. And just put on some music, have a drink, and for God's sakes, stop worrying.
But Roy,
Susan, do as I say.
I'll try.
Miss Petrie. Miss Hudson had a 10 o'clock appointment. Is that right?
Yes, she does.
Well, it's 10:30 now. Would you mind giving her a call?
Hello, is Miss Hudson there? This is the receptionist at Dr. Flemming's office. Oh, I understand. A man was on the other line. He said he was from the coroner's office.
No. You obviously got the wrong number. Try it again.
Hello, Dr. Flemming's office again. Yes, is Miss Hudson there? She had an appointment this morning. Dr. Flemming is her psychiatrist. I'm only trying to get some information.
Give me that. Who is this? Well, this is Dr. Flemming. I'm her psychiatrist. What do you mean? What kind of accident? Who can I talk to give me some information? Jeez, never mind. Miss Petrie, I'm going out for the afternoon. Tell my next patient that I'll be late. Where is she? Where is she?
I didn't think.
You didn't
She
think...
stuffed herself with barbiturates.
You just had to bring her into this, didn't you? Didn't you know what she would do? Or didn't you care?
Oh, don't you lecture me, doctor. All right, I'm responsible. Okay, but you're leaving somebody out. We both killed that girl. The two of us together. Oh, she killed herself for one reason: to protect you. Okay? By the way, congratulations. I mean, you're home free now, aren't you? She was the only one who could have given you away. I can't touch you now, Doc. Nobody can. You won. Of course, you didn't get what you were going after.
What's that supposed to mean?
The girl. I mean, you loved her. You were willing to murder for her. All that planning, all that sweat, all for nothing.
What are you trying to tell me, Columbo?
I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'd observe that it looks like you're going to be a terribly lonely man from here on in. That maybe you'd feel a little better if you got a few things off your chest.
Like what?
Like the truth.
You trying to say I should confess?
Is that so strange? I mean, what more do you have to live for? And who knows? Maybe you owe her something.
I overestimated you, Columbo. Thought you understood human nature. What, you want me to purge myself? Is that it? My one and only true love is dead and I've got nothing left to live for? Something like that?
I'm just saying, if you love that girl.
Love that girl? Lieutenant, I never loved that girl. You remember that hypothetical murder we were talking about in my office? He needed an alibi. Girl was available, so he used her. Simple as that.
No. You killed your wife because you were in love with the girl.
Lieutenant, I'll tell you, if I killed my wife, I'm not saying I did. I did it for myself. Not some dime a dozen little actress.
Oh, what? I mean, she helped you with the murder. You would have had to marry her.
Not necessarily. Something could have been arranged. An accident, maybe.
Always have a plan, don't you, Roy? You said there was something I should hear.
You like to make that statement now, miss?
Oh.
We can work over here.
Oh,